Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Tom Scheiding. So it's someone like being shy and the sound of a bell ding, Scheiding. And I am your professor for ECON412, Economic History of the United States. I don't know, my face is not appearing because my computer at my office does not have a camera because it was purchased before the pandemic. So it is a pre-COVID computer, and as such, video calls were very sparse at that point. So, with that said, I don't know. I'm sure you'll see my face here at some point here, but I just want to get this video done that basically talks about what we're going to do in this course, what we are doing in the syllabus, and how to sort of navigate things. So let's start by talking about what the syllabus looks like. This is, as you know, a accelerated course. We're going to do this all in 6 weeks. My general expectation, and the expectation is that you'll have taken some very basic economics course. This course is online, and it is also a course that the lectures are not synchronous, meaning I make the lectures, but you are free to listen to them at any point that you want to. There's no need to log in at a specific time. I am not going anywhere at all this summer, I don't think. So the easiest way to contact me would be to send me an email. I'm going to be on Hawaii time the whole summer. Email is really the easiest, and I'm quite responsive. I don't even list the phone number here. If you really want to call me, it would be 689-2493. But, you know, I get emails sent to my phone, so this notion of people saying I didn't get your email is pretty impossible to reconcile. The only way I will not respond to an email is, one, it doesn't require a reply by me. So if you're just like, dude, I'm sick, sorry I missed your lecture last week, there's nothing really for me to reply to. So I'm not going to reply to it. The other thing would be the bigger problem, which can happen from time to time, which would be you send me an email and I lose it in the pile of other emails that come in. The way that you'll know that I have done that is if I don't get back to you within a day. So if I don't get back to you in a day, send me the email again. 1,000 apologies for making you have to go through that matter again, but it's obviously very important to you. If I was aware of it, it would be probably important to me, but I just overlooked it for some reason. So you should not be able to say, but at the end of the semester, he just never writes back replies. I probably will be doing it, and the only reason I wouldn't would be it got lost. So the description for this course is pretty straightforward. It's basically a history of the United States as told through an economic lens, which would mean that we're going to be looking at government policies, industries, financial markets, economic crises. It's difficult to do this all in 6 weeks. It'd be difficult to do it in a semester, quite frankly, over 16 weeks. So this isn't like the most ideal way to do it, but I think we'll actually get quite a bit done. Here's my description of what we're going to do. And in my description, basically, I divide economic history in the United States into 3 time frames. One would be a colonial period. Second would be a period that's the Civil War and shortly afterwards. And then the third period would be World War I to basically World War II. And we're going to basically stop at World War II. So again, it's primarily time. If this semester were longer, we could do more of the recent past, but we don't have it. Here are the student learning outcomes. I used to think these weren't that important. I really did. I would spend very little time on them, but I do think they're important because I think they are more important now than they used to be, because It does basically, these are the three big things I want you to be comfortable with when this course is completed. Okay. Now, in terms of assessment, I haven't done this before, so this could actually end up being very bad, but maybe it's going to work out. So we have these things called reflection papers, and then we're going to have exams. So let's start with exams first, because that's easier to understand. The exams are going to be short answer questions. So they're not going to be multiple choice, but they'll be short answer questions. They'll be open book, open note. They're not going to be timed. You're going to have essay questions that you're going to write. And there's going to be basically 3 exams. Those 3 exams, there'll be one for each of those 3 eras that I talked about. I'm going to be dropping the lowest of the 3 exam scores. So do the math however you want to, but if you do okay on the first 2, you don't even have to do the third one. If you do bad if you just miss the first one, like you just forget the date, well, then you're just going to have to do the remaining 2. There's really not a lot of solutions other than that. And those 2 exams together will count towards 50% of your grade. So it is a lot, but on the other hand, you should have the time to do it. You'll have the time to do it, and it will be, the grade in some sense will be reflective of the work that you put into it. And then we've got the reflection papers. Now, there's going to be about 10 to 12 of these. I say approximately 10, but maybe closer to 12. And I'm going to give you a sample one. I haven't created it yet, but I'll give you a sample one. But basically, for most of the chapters, what I'm going to do is take a section from that chapter, and I'm going to basically ask some question. And it's going to be up to you to do 3 things in this kind of short paper, which would be closer to 2 pages than 1. And in the very beginning, don't worry, I'll grade it pretty lightly because it's supposed to be instructive for you doing better on the remaining ones. But the idea would be, I'll have the selection, and you'll write kind of like a summary of that section. Then in the second thing that you'll do is you will link it back to some of the things you've learned in other economics courses. And then the third thing you'll do is you'll add your own thoughts and opinions. It'll definitely be over 1 page, but it'll probably be closer to 2 pages of writing. And all of those together will count towards 50% of your grade as well. So it's equal to an exam. So that would mean you really can't say that one is less important than the other. These are both very important. Here's the textbook. This is the Walton and Rockoff textbook, History of the American Economy. It's pretty much the standard book that's used. This course is an IDAP course. That means that your student accounts have all been charged for the book, but I'm going to show you here. This course is not making use of like the homework system that publishers use. It's not making use of that, and I'm always, if you're getting financial aid benefits and those financial aid benefits are paying for the class, then I would say have them charge your account and let financial aid pay for it. But if the payment of the book is coming out of your own money, I would suggest that you can decline the IDAP. And the way that you would do that is that on LaLima, maybe it's not LaLima, but you would have that link where you can opt out of the IDAP charge on your student account. I would suggest that you opt out because I found the book. I found a PDF of the book, and I posted it in LaLima for right now. Now, if someone pushes back against it and says, "Hey, Scheiding, you're See, so you're not going to see some picture here. I don't even know what it is a picture of. But anyway, if someone says, hey, Shiting, you're violating a copyright, well, then I'm probably going to have to take down the chapter. But if no one complains, you can read it, you can print it, it's a PDF. You can read it here, and then you could get out of having to buy the book, which, again, I think the bookstore's charging a little over $100 for the book. So $116.40 actually. So my suggestion to you would be you should opt out of the charge for the book. But that's my own opinion. We will be using Google Classroom for the reflection papers and the exams. So basically all of your assignments are going to be done with Google Classroom. If you've never used it before, don't worry. I'm going to be making a separate video that talks about how to do this. Again, I'll walk you through how to do this if you've never used this before. But it'll be, the nice thing about it is that it looks a lot cleaner and neater than Lalima does. And it's easy for me to give you comments. It's easy for you to post things because you can post it as a Google Doc or a Word doc. And this is where I'll post like the actual thing that you need to do. And then you'll have your exams here. The exams, what they're going to be structured as is, again, they're open notes, open book. They're not timed. I'm going to give you about a 4 or 5 day window to complete it. And that'll be how that's the exams are structured. Here are the policies that you'll have seen in all of your courses. I'm not trying to dismiss them. I'm just assuming that you can all read. But the basic thing is don't be late. It's always hard for me because I never get things done on time. And it's hard for me to tell you to get things done on time when I don't do it myself. And I would say to you, the real world, they always have to get things done on time. But we know that that's not true either. But I do acknowledge the fact that it's not fair to others who have done things on time. Who maybe turned in something that they're not particularly proud of, but they wanted to get it done on time. Whereas I've now let someone else get their thing not done on time. So do get things done on time. If you don't get things done on time, you better have a really darn good excuse. And you're really, I'm not the kind of guy that's going to say, well, show me the dead body because I don't believe you that, so-and-so died. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not going to make you show me a funeral thing or whatever. But, dude, it's bad karma, right? Like, don't lie. I'm an understanding. I try to be understanding as well. So you could just give me, like, a shitstorm of events that happened. And all I have to do is I just have to be able to say that if someone else were to complain, could I justify it that I gave you an extra day to do something, right? Like, is what happened to you that bad, right? Like, I'm saying take ownership over mistakes you make, but I'm also, I think given the size of our class, we're only about 9 or 10 students, I think we all realize that sometimes bad stuff happens and it's completely unexpected and it really screws up our plan to get something done on time. If that's what happened to you, just be honest about it. And I'm sure that, you're going to have a sympathetic ear to it. And if your excuse is just, I got totally plastered, it's my 21st birthday, well, there's not much I can do about that. But I'm willing to work with you on other things. The biggest thing would here be as well is academic integrity. Don't cheat. Don't paraphrase without acknowledging things. Given that everything is typed, Google Classroom as well does tell me if, so-and-so is copying 50% of their stuff from something. So you need to not plagiarize. It doesn't work out well, and it generally is a pretty messy process. Here's our grading scale that's dictated to us by the UH system. And then we've got the chapters that we're going to be doing. There are 16 chapters here listed. It is I mean, ideally, you'd actually read all 16 chapters. For some of you, I think that's going to be difficult. But what I am going to be doing is I'm going to be making a lecture for each chapter. I'm going to be making an audio lecture, kind of like podcast style, for each chapter. I will make a one-pager, meaning I'll have like a one-page thing that says kind of some of the key ideas and some of the key things to think about in that chapter, but I'm not making slides for the chapters. I find it takes a lot of time, and I'm not sure what it makes you really focus on just what the bullet points are. So instead, what I'm going to be focused on is just making really good audio lectures, and I should have the first one posted here rather soon. The way that I structure these things is that we have 3 basic common deadlines: June 6th, June 20th, and July 2nd. 3 deadlines. And they're chunked deadlines, meaning you have, with the exception of the exams, which are only open over a short time period, because the exams will be due that day as well, you can basically work ahead as much as I've made lectures, or if you don't even need my lecture to do what you got to do, you can work ahead all you want. But I'm kind of making some minimum levels of progress that you need to make by certain dates so that we finish this course on time. So there's going to be basically 3 common deadlines. And you'll see that back here in Google Classroom, that the assignments are going to have the common deadlines as well, leading up to here. So all 4 of these things right here are going to have the common deadline. And I'm not making you do, keep in mind here, I'm not having you do a reflection paper for each chapter, but these reflection papers are all going to have a common deadline for this first one at least, of June 6th. Okay, so hopefully that, sorry, last thing. Again, you'll see over here, I'm going to make the links to the analysis papers here. I'll link those back to Google Classroom. Under syllabus, I'll list the syllabus that we are having here. And then we'll have, in each of these chapters, you will see the textbook chapter. And otherwise, exams and the reflection papers, those will all be done in Google Classroom. Okay.